What is up YouTube, and today we have the weekly Shiji pull video for the new banner that is currently running featuring Aria, the Ice Mage. Now it's kind of funny, we have Elvira and Aria running and they look pretty similar. If you guys know, you know. Basically have the same hair color, and let's just leave it at that. But we're going to talk about Aria very quickly, but before we do, let's actually talk about Elvira because she did get extended because she got a rework. She will be running with Aria until the 1st of February. Basically, what I think about Elvira, I think she is pretty much a must-have unit for late-game PvP players, just because she shuts down the meta units with her S2. She decreases fighting spirit gained by the enemy, making it so that Abyssal Euphine, Navy Captain Landy, Lone Crescent Bellona, Lionheart Sirmia, anything with fighting spirit cannot actually gain fighting spirit while Elvira is alive. And as you guys know, she's alive for a very long time with this 3-turn immortality. So I think if you're looking to get into PvP and you want to counter those very annoying meta units, Elvira is pretty much a must-have. Her artifact, pretty good for RTR and World Arena on her, but you don't really need this on her. You can run her on any effect resist artifact, and she's pretty good. Even like Midnight, Gala, Lilius's artifact's pretty good on her to give her more effect resist and damage on her S3, because her S3 hits pretty hard. But yes, let's talk about Aria now, the main focus of this video. She's a pretty long forgotten unit, I'd say. I don't think she's bad by any means. I think she's pretty strong if you gear her for the right, criteria and the right areas of content. But in general, I think she's not really used as much anymore as before. The main area of content where she shines in is going to be in PvP, in auto arena offense, and also in Guild Wars. She's very good at soloing teams in Guild Wars and also arena because of her S3. Now her S3 is going to basically give her entire team stealth and barrier, making it so that they have to focus Aria. Also, she'll get increased defense to actually make her tankier, and also have a counter attacking stance. So basically it's pretty much an AoE taunt when you're playing her into AI PvP defenses, and because of that she's very strong because she hits pretty hard with her S1, which will also have a chance to decrease hit chance, which is very strong because it can actually lessen the damage that she takes, and also because she actually will scale with her own defense for damage. So you can build her very tanky on defense with a decent amount of health and effect resist, and she'll hit pretty hard while being very hard to kill. Now there lies the problem though, actually, because I just mentioned you need defense, health, and effect resist. Well, you also want some crit chance and crit damage, and obviously you want some speed to actually take your turn, but you also want her on lifesteal set so she can sustain, because she doesn't have any built-in sustain with her kit. So you can tell that she's very stat hungry, but if you do have good lifesteal gear with high defense, high effect resist, high bulk with some crit chance built in, you don't really need too much crit damage, you just want crit chance at 100, then she becomes a very powerful unit. So just because of that, she's pretty hard to build, and because of that, they do have crit chance built into her S2, so she's a little bit easier to build. And her S2 also has another ability on it. Basically, when your focus is full, you can see that she has a focus system. You get 3 from her S3, 1 from her S2, and you'll be countering a lot. You'll activate Dark Shadow Phantom, and this has no cooldown. This will work whenever she's at 5 focus, similar to Seaside Bellona. And basically this will be an AoE attack that strips 2 buffs, decreases CR, and does a pretty decent amount of damage that scales with her defense. So pretty strong unit for those auto arenas. If you bring her into team comps that don't really have a way to strip her, or they don't have like green units, earth units, then she can pretty much solo teams pretty easily, just because of the fact that she's so bulky and she has, that counterattack stance. The only thing is, because we have Navy Captain Landy and Abyssal Euphine in the meta currently, she's not as effective against them. She can still work, but depending on their builds, it can be hard to actually 100% succeed against them. So because of that, she's definitely fallen out of favor a little bit. But in World Arena, you can still pick her as a 5th pick into team comps that don't have a way to actually strip these buffs. If you don't have a way to actually deal with these buffs that she gives to her team and herself, she becomes a monster. She can pretty much 1v4 your team. Because of that, she's a pretty good pocket pick to have on your bench for RT and World Arena. And in Guild Wars offense, you'll find some value with her sometimes, but I think currently in the state of the game, she's actually not really worth going for. In the past, she was very good for auto arena, like I mentioned, a very easy way to get up to legend and get your sky stones for the first time. But there's a lot of units that can do that now, and I think she's just not as great as some of them anymore. Now for her artifact, you're going to see with the caster attacks, when it's not their turn, you do increased damage, and you can land these debuffs. It's pretty good on Aria, one of the better artifacts on her. Some people actually like to run her on a effect resist artifact. You guys probably already know because I've shown you a million times, but in case you don't, it's known as Bastion of Hope, if you can actually find it and not scroll past it, because the client is always so laggy. Here we go, Bastion of Hope here to give you more effect resist. But if you guys don't want to run that, you want to run it on Scroll of Shadows for more damage and for those debuffs, it's another option. I personally like Bastion of Hope. It's really up to you. But if you do pull for Aria and you want to use this artifact on her, go for it. But honestly, I think both of these are worth skipping. You're way better off using your bookmarks on Elvira. I think she's just way more universally sound right now because she pretty much counters an entire archetype, which is going to be Fighting Spirit. Whereas Aria still can see some use, but just not as good anymore. So yeah, both these units look pretty similar like I mentioned. If you guys don't know why they look similar, you might want to look closer. It's because of their bluish, blackish, I guess blue and white and then blue and black, but because they're both blue, right, obviously in the same hair color. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are going for any of these units. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and found this helpful, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.